the House and with the leave of the Right Reverend Prelate, I would like to say a few words following days 1 and 2 in committee and the issues which your Lordships raised about the bill. Your Lordships heard me say that we are listening and that after hearing concerns during the earlier days in committee of the bill, I am acutely aware of the strength of feeling in the House. Your Lordships are aware that there is a process that is followed after committee. Noble Lords can be reassured that when we return to the bill at report stage, I will be able to clarify and confirm the Government's position, having heard the views of the House at committee. Any such statement will reflect the Government's position and will be subject to the usual processes of agreeing policy and will be shared ahead of report.
Permission of the House, could I just press the Minister, should those amendments that she comes back with at report, which is how I'm interpreting what she just said, be as substantial as we would hope and expect, given the concerns that she says she has heard, and I appreciate that, would she consider perhaps reconvening the committee in order for us to examine those new amendments, because we do expect that they would substantially alter the way that the bill is currently drafted?
Well, if I could just follow up on that, I think it would be helpful if we could get some clarity. If not that process, what else is coming through? Because, and it isn't the Baroness's fault, but she was given a car crash drive. And we've now got to where we are now. Can we please have a little bit more consultation about the new form of this bill?
If I may, could I also ask the Minister whether or not she is intending to conduct some kind of regulatory review and consultation prior to report?
I'm sure that all of your Lordships understand that the timing and the content of what we discuss at report is a matter that will be agreed with the Chief Whip and through the usual channels, and I really can't say any more on that today.
To have a report in July of this year?
To my noble friend, that is not a decision that I can take. That is a decision for the Chief Whip and the usual channels.
The specific question that my noble friend Baroness Chapman asked was about a quite common procedure in this House, which is that if very substantial changes are proposed between committee stage and report involving large numbers of new clauses, etc., that it is common that a committee stage should be resumed to consider those precise additions so that the conversation can take place under committee rules rather than under report rules. Now, I know she can't decide on the procedures of the House, but she is, I hope this doesn't ruin her career, a very accommodating minister as far as she's able to be, and does listen to the House. And having listened to most of the committee stage myself so far, it is quite clear that there are many issues that need to be discussed as soon as there is, if and when there is some clarification about the content of the bill, and that needs to be discussed in a committee stage.
I'm unable to give any more clarification on that point at this stage. I'm sorry that I can't say any more to your Lordships.
I realise that the noble lady, the Minister, is not able to say anything further about the timing with regard to committee and report, but I wonder if it might be possible to say anything further in response to my noble friend Lord Knight about regulatory review, leaving aside the question of report.
Said at the dispatch box that the regulatory review will begin within weeks. I'm unable to say anything further about the other stages of the bill.
Just try this then with the noble Baroness, the Minister, who's doing her best in very difficult circumstances. Would she be prepared to talk to the Secretary of State, who himself is one of the most able members of the Cabinet, that might not mean a lot to others, but I think in this particular case it does. Whether it would actually be beneficial, not just to the passage of this legislation, but to the whole education system, if he were able to see his way to taking time to reach which I think we can do, a substantial consensus on the majority of this bill, if time were allowed to do so.
I'm more than happy to commit to taking back the views of the House to the Secretary of State.